Your children will inherit more than your DNA as a parent. Your children, our children will inherit. They're going to inherit your fears or your faith. What would you like your children to inherit from you? Would you want them to inherit your faith, or would you want them to inherit your fears? Now, the way you live your life as a parent on a daily basis is writing your family tomorrow. The choices you make today, the decisions you're making today is writing the family life tomorrow. It's writing your family tomorrow. It's preparing your children for tomorrow. The question is, what legacy are you leaving behind as a parent? What legacy would you be proud of when you see your children in 30 years? You'll be proud that, okay, those legacies, they got it from you. Are you living the legacy of faith, or are you living the legacy of fear? So we must be intentional to transform our families through the right legacies. How can we begin to transform our families for generations yet unborn? Because the truth is that your children are nations. Our children are nations. They are generations. How can we begin to transform the legacy we are going to leave behind? Are we going to leave behind the same legacy our parents left behind? Are we going to leave behind the same legacies we pick up on the streets, the same legacies of what is obtainable in the society? Or are we going to do something different? Are we going to go a step further to do something different? So as parents, we must be intentional to leave the right legacies. And one of the ways we can work on this journey of living the right legacies is to renew our mindset first. So we must go on this journey of renewing our mindset. You must go on this journey of renewing your mindset, because your thoughts becomes your family culture. Whatever you think as a father, whatever you think as a mother, your thought in total becomes the culture of your family. Because whatever you think is what's likely what you're going to implement. Whatever you think is what you're going to act out. Whatever you think is what you're going to say in your conversations with your children, in your conversation with other parents, with other people. Your thoughts becomes the culture of your family. So are you intentionally positioning or putting the right thoughts in your minds? Are you building yourself so you can think the right thoughts, so you can recreate the right culture for your family? So we must go on this journey of renewing our mindsets. And one of the ways we can renew our mindset is to go on this journey of intentional growth, growing ourselves, becoming better, telling ourselves that we are going to be better, working on yourself, reading books, self-help books, reading books regularly, attending courses, listening to those voices you want to be in your minds, those voices you want your thoughts to be made up of, because it is said that voices are vehicles. The voices you listen to are the voices that will direct your thoughts and your actions. So you must renew your mindset first, and it starts from the voices you're listening. So what voice do you listen to on a daily basis? Do you open your thoughts? Do you open your mind? Do you allow everyone to speak to you? Do you assess everything you see out there on social media? Do you give people opportunity to just barge into your thoughts and speak anything? We must guide our thoughts. We must guide the voices we listen to, because these voices form our thoughts. These voices form what we think on a daily basis. These voices form what we're going to act out as parents to our children, in our conversation, in the environment. So we must go on this journey of renewing our thoughts if we must transform our families for generations. Now, if fear drives you as a parent, it also drives your children. But if faith anchors you, it will definitely anchor your children. So are you working on your journey of life or parenting based on fear? Your children can see your fear. Our children can see our fears. So instead of being in that position or being in that state of constant fear, why don't we take a step further to move away from fear, to move to faith? So we must intentionally pass the legacy of faith to our children. What faith are you speaking to your children? What voices are you equipping your children? What voices are you putting for your children to, are you like putting it there for your children to listen to? What mentors? What are the coaches, the mentors, the people your children will listen to? What are you speaking to your children? All this has to do with the way we renew our mindset. If you must renew your mindset to transform your family for generations, generations. You must speak life. Are you speaking life as a parent? Are you speaking life to your children? Or are you speaking condemnation to your child? Are you speaking labels to your child? Your child does something and you say, oh, you're just not good at this. Your brother is good at this than you. Your sister is good at this than you. Are you speaking life to your children? For us to renew our minds, for us to transform our families for generation, for us to transfer legacies that is going to outlive us, we must start to speak life to ourselves, to our children, to our family, and to everyone that come across us. So speak life, not limitation. When your child comes to you and tell you, I can't do this, you teach the child. You speak life to that child and tell the child you can do it. Your limitations are just in your mind, and we must model it. What do you see on a daily basis? The truth is that whatever you tell your child, they are going to listen, but our children will do more of what they see us do. So if as a parent you tell your child, don't swear, don't use bad words, but you use those words in your conversation on the phone, you use those words when you're speaking with your friends, you use those words when you're speaking to people, you use those words when you're even laughing or discussing about an issue, or talking about someone that is not there, your children, our children will definitely pick it up. So we must speak life, not limitation. You must equip your children with life. That is one way we can transform our families for generation. Then we must model trust in God daily. As a parent, do you model trust in God daily? Can your children see and say, indeed, my parents trust God? Or can they just say, okay, this is what my parents said, but this is not what they do? The truth is that our children learn from our examples. Sometimes they don't even need our sermons. Those plenty talk you talk. Yeah, it's good. We need to keep speaking. But the truth is that they learn more from our examples. They will trust God when they see that we trust God in our storms. So you're going through one situation. Do you still trust in God? Can your children see that you trust in God in that situation? Those are teachable moments. Those are opportunities for you to teach your child that even in this difficult situation, we still anchor our trust in God. The truth is that one of the legacies we should pass to our children is the legacy of faith. The legacy of a relationship with their creator, the legacy that connects them to their source, the legacy that connects them to their identity. When you pass on that to your child, you've done a lot for your child. So can your child intentionally see that you model trust in God daily? Can your child see that, okay, in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the situation, my family, my father, my mother, they've not given up, they still trust God? Do you pray out loud? Or are you the parent that say, oh, praying is old school? Do you go to church? Or are you the parent that say, oh, all these things are old school? Do you share stories of how God answered your prayers? Can your children hear your stories of how God answered your prayers? We must let our children see. We must model it for them to see our faith, not our panic. We must share stories, examples of the times God delivered us. We must model this trust so that our children can feel it, and we should not model panic. Another thing we can do to transform our families for generation is to build emotional and spiritual strength in our children. What emotional strength are you giving to your child? What emotional basis, emotional background, emotional stability are you giving to your child as a parent? First of all, are we even stable emotionally? That is the question we should ask ourselves. Most of us are not stable emotionally. Most of us don't even regulate our emotions the right way. Most of us, we just act out when things happen. But as parents, when you become a parent, you lose the opportunity to act anyhow. There is no freedom. You cannot do anyhow. You cannot do anything because lives are dependent on you. Generations are dependent on you. The future of your children, the future of people are dependent on you. So you must build emotional strength. The confidence of your children grow when they feel safe. Does your child feel safe at home? Can your child express their emotions, probably that they are tired? When your child gets back from school, your child is crying, your child is tired, your child is hungry and exhausted. Can you be empathetic? Put yourself in the shoes of your child and try to help the child through that big emotion. Or do you shut the child down? Do you tell the child, keep quiet and just sit down and don't disturb? Are we building emotional strength? Can our children feel seen in our home? Can you see your child? When I say seeing, I don't mean physical seeing. Can you see your child? Can you see through the mind of your child? Can you see through the heart, the emotions of your child? Can you see what your child is going through? The truth is that sometimes when you look at your child, you can tell. You can just tell what this child is going. You can tell that this child is probably stressed. This child is probably unhappy. This child is probably bothered. This child is probably looking for who to talk to. Does your child feel seen? Do our children feel seen in our home? One of the ways we can transform legacies or transfer legacies to our children is when our children feel seen and when our children feel loved. Do you love your child? Do you as a parent love your child? And the truth is that love must flow from us. God is love. Do you love your child conditionally or unconditionally? Are you the parent that loves the child that performs well in school? Are you the parent that loves the child that has first position, best in maths, best in English, and you don't love the child that is still struggling with his maybe trying to struggle in academics? Are you the parent that loves the child that likes to do chores and you don't like the one that likes to do chores? The truth is that our children must feel loved in our homes. Our children must feel loved in our home. That is one of the legacy we should transfer to our children. Don't be the parent that is going to initiate sibling rivalry in your home, because sibling rivalry is very dangerous. We know the stories in the Bible, the stories of Cain and Abel, the stories of Joseph and his brothers, how sibling rivalry escalated to generations, how sibling rivalry, it escalated so that generations after them even felt the effect of that rivalry. What would you be transferring to your children? When you're no more here, when you're gone, can you look back and be happy for the legacies you've been able to leave behind? It starts with what we are doing today. It starts with the daily choices you're making today. It starts with how you make your child feel. If you make them feel safe, if you make them feel seen, or if you make them feel loved. Their faith, the faith of your children, grow when they know the truth. And when they can see that you live the truth. What is the truth? Do they know the truth of who they are? Do they know the truth of their source? Does your child know the truth of their identity? Or are they dependent on people out there to tell them who they are? When you don't tell your child who your child is, when you don't equip your child with the knowledge they need to get, some other person will do it for you. And it's possible that the other person might be inexperienced or have totally different values from you. So we must speak affirmations into the identity of our children. We must tell our children and remind them of who they are. When they make mistakes, we must continuously remind them so that it becomes part of their subconscious. When was the last time you told your child you're a God? When was the last time you told your child you were strong? When was the last time you told your child you were loved? When was the last time you told your child you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you? What are you transferring to your children? When was the last time you read a scripture with your child and shared your stories, examples? When was the last time you prayed with your child? Are you intentionally building these legacies daily? The truth is that legacy is not in the ground of things. Legacy is not in you saying, okay, this is what I will do. This is a great thing I'm going to do today and I am done. No. Legacy is in your daily choice as a parent. Legacy is in your daily decision as a parent. Legacy is in the way you speak to your child. Legacy is in the way you speak to your spouse, your husband or your wife. Legacy is in what you do every minute, every second. Even if your child is watching or your child is not working, that is legacy. You are transferring legacy. So what kind of legacy are you transferring as a parent? Then the other thing we can do to transfer legacies to generations is to create traditions of faith and peace. Traditions are anchors that will outlive you. Traditions are anchors that will outlive us. What tradition are you creating in your home? What tradition am I creating in my home? Those are the anchors that will outlive you. Are you going to give your children things to remember when you're not there? Are you going to give your children positive memories to remember probably when they are grown and they are all in school, or they are grown and they are married? The things you will leave behind for your children are the traditions. Those are the things that is going to outlive you. So look around you. What tradition can you imbibe in your family? What you repeat as a family becomes what your children remember. What you repeat, what you do on a daily basis, it becomes what your children remember. Even as a parent, when you repeat something, and you don't do it at a point, your children will be like, oh, we didn't do this, we missed this. What you repeat becomes what they remember. What traditions? Are you transferring the traditions of faith to your child? Are you transferring the tradition of peace to your child? Or are you the parent that is transferring the tradition of chaos to your child? Is your home environment chaotic? Are you even chaotic? Or are you peaceful? Because the truth is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Peace can only flow from us when we as parents are peaceful. Are you a peaceful person? Can your child see and say that my mom, my father is a peaceful person? Do you transfer? Do you model peace in your home? Or do you model chaos? Do you model anxiety? Do you model quarrel? Do you model disagreement? All those are legacies we are passing on to our children and to generations and nations after us. So the thing is that we have to be intentional with what we pass down. Consciously or unconsciously, we are passing down these legacies. Even if you say, oh my God, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to keep quiet, I will not talk as a parent, so that they will not say I'm acting in a bad way, or I'm not managing my emotions the right way. You are passing on the legacy of not talking when situations arise. So what you do consciously or unconsciously, or what you don't do, are legacies you're transferring to your children. So create those traditions of faith. You could create traditions of praying at night, praying before the children go to school, doing gratitude journaling, everyone appreciating each other, praying before you have your meal. Create those traditions. No matter how little it is, those are the things that is going to outlive you when you're no more here. Those are the things those are the memories your children remember when they grow. Even we as adults, we can remember a lot of things while we are growing up. Most of us cannot remember the clothes we wore while we were growing up. Most of us cannot even remember what, the rent our parents paid, school fees our parents paid. What we can remember are those traditions we did as a family. Most of us can remember those things we did together as siblings. Most of us can remember those things we did together with our parents. Most of us can remember those activities, those fun activities we did. So if you received that from your parent or you did not receive that from your caregiver, the baton is now on us. It's now on you. We as parents to transfer the right legacy of the right traditions to our children, so that this tradition is etched in the minds of our children, so that when they leave home, when they get married, when they are adults, they can remember those beautiful, happy memories and they can all smile. So the truth is that we are not just called to raise children. As parents, we are called to grow. You're called to become a better version of yourself. At every point in time, your first responsibility, my first responsibility, our first responsibility is not just to raise a child. Our first responsibility is to grow. Our first responsibility as parents is to become. Our first responsibility as parents is to transform ourselves to be the masterpieces that God has called us to be. We are called to raise a legacy. What legacy are you raising? Legacy is in your choices, your decisions, what you do on a daily basis. There are so many kind of legacies you can leave for your child. What kind of legacy would you leave for your child? So today, I want to encourage us to leave the legacy of faith, not the legacy of fear. Be that parent that will model trust to your children, trust in God, trust in the process, not the parent that cuts corners, not the parent that gives up when things are difficult, not the parent that say, oh, I can't try again. No, we should model resilience, and we should be those parents that create traditions of peace in our home. Joyful traditions, beautiful memory that will transform our entire family system. What tradition would you be creating for your home? What tradition would you be creating that will outlive you, that when your children grow, they talk about it, they have conversations about it? Now, generations after us will rise with strength when we create the right traditions in our home, not because of what we left in their hands, not just because of what we left in their hand, but because of what we planted in their hearts. What are you planting in the heart of your child? What message are you planting in the heart of your child? What values, what thought, what voices, what decisions, who are the mentors you are planting in the heart of your child? So today, I want to implore us to take that simple step of faith by being intentional with our choices, by being intentional with what we do, by being intentional with the traditions we are creating, good traditions that our children will remember and be happy, not negative or bad traditions. So we must remember, as parents, we are called to raise a legacy, and our legacy is not just based on what you put in the hands of your child. Your legacy is dependent more on what you feel in the heart of that child. Your legacy is dependent on more what you build that child with, who that child becomes, of what you've been able to teach that child, the voices you've positioned in front of that child. So today, be that parent that will leave a legacy of faith. I believe this video has been helpful. Please like this video, share this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Renewed Parent Academy, and my name is Chioma Odikulu. Thank you for your time. Bye.